AVG. Let's pull it apart.
February 2025. It is a nightmare, still though I feel safer. Not that it caught a virus, a nightmare. The user keeps it because removing it feels more frightening than tolerating it. A remind me later dialogue with a next century option among the choices. The defining problem is not something this product did. 6 years of selling browsing data through a subsidiary, 16.5 million in fines. A permanent ban. This product carries the same detection engine, runs under the same corporate entity, and shares the same privacy history. The community does not distinguish between them. They are the same thing. AVG, 100% detection in independent testing. Same result as the product that owns it. Same engine, same parent company, same trust damage. The quieter sibling in the portfolio, whose only differentiation is slightly less aggressive branding and a user base that describes it as a nightmare they feel safer tolerating. Two founders in the Czech Republic in the early 1990s built the product as a consumer antivirus tool. The name stood for Antivirus Guard. The growth model was the same freemium approach that the other Czech antivirus company used in the same decade. Free product to build the user base, premium upgrades for revenue, two Czech companies building free antivirus products that hundreds of millions of people would install in the same country, in the same era. In 2016, the other Czech antivirus company acquired this one for approximately 1.3 billion. The strategic reasoning was direct. Two nearly identical businesses combined to share malware research, detection technology, and market scale in regions where each brand held different recognition. The detection engines converged, the threat intelligence pipeline became shared, the primary difference between the two products became branding. In November 2022, the acquiring company merged with a consumer security conglomerate to form a parent entity holding multiple antivirus brands, identity protection services, and system utilities. Approximately 500 million users. This product is now one brand inside a portfolio that includes the acquiring product, a major commercial antivirus, an identity protection service, and a system cleaning utility. The quieter brand in the portfolio. The one the community describes as unnecessary when the acquiring product exists and the operating system default continues to improve. The trust damage is inherited. The acquiring company operated a data analytics subsidiary from approximately 2014 to 2020. Browsing data collected through a browser extension. Visited addresses, search queries, click patterns sold to companies seeking consumer behavior insight. The federal trade regulator imposed 16.5 million in fines, a permanent ban on selling browsing data, and mandatory deletion. The subsidiary was the acquiring company's operation. Whether this product's user data was included in the collection is a question the public record does not fully resolve. The community treats the question as answered. The same company makes privacy decisions for both products. The trust assessment applies to both. The product-level complaints are familiar. The notification system designed to convert free users to paid subscribers is persistent enough that a user described the product as a nightmare. The remind me later dialogue offering a next century option became a mockery thread. The upsell pattern is the same as the acquiring products. Prompts for premium features, virtual private network subscriptions, and system cleaning utilities. The community describes the experience as annoying rather than dangerous, not hated as much as dismissed. The product works. The product is also disruptive enough that users joke about deferring its prompts for 100 years. The detection performance matches the acquiring product because it is the same engine. 100% protection rate in independent real-world testing across the second half of 2025. Awards from both major testing organizations in 2024 and 2025. The free tier provides real-time protection, web and phishing filtering, ransomware blocking, and a software update checker. The paid tiers add firewall controls, camera protection, advanced web and email filtering, and scam site blocking. The premium bundle adds system optimization and virtual private network access. The differentiation from the acquiring product is marginal. The interface is described as slightly simpler. The branding is described as slightly quieter. The notification intensity is marginally lower. The community's assessment is that choosing between the two products is choosing between two labels on the same engine. No independent threat research separates them. No distinct privacy track record distinguishes them. No technical capability exists in one that the other does not share. The community's verdict is direct. They are the same thing. The differentiation that justified maintaining two brands after the acquisition is not visible to users who compare them. The comparison with the operating system's built-in antivirus is the practical choice the target user faces. The built-in product achieves competitive detection rates without installation, without prompts, and without the privacy history. The freemium product provides broader features at the free tier. Whether the additional features justify the trust trade-off and the notification burden depends on whether the user values the extra capabilities enough to accept what accompanies them. Someone who has used the product for years and has no strong reason to switch can continue using it. The detection is competitive. The free tier provides real-time protection. The product works. The question is not whether it protects against malware, it does. The question is whether there is a reason to choose it over the acquiring product or the operating system default. And the honest answer is that no compelling technical reason exists. The same engine powers both freemium products. The built-in product achieves competitive detection without the notification burden or the privacy history. Someone making a fresh antivirus choice in 2026 should understand the landscape. The operating system's built-in product is free, integrated, and achieves top marks in testing. It requires no installation and carries no third-party privacy history. For the majority of users whose computing involves standard applications from standard sources, the built-in product is sufficient. Installing a freemium product on top of it provides additional features. It also introduces notification pressure, potential unwanted software behavior, and association with a corporate entity whose privacy record includes a $16.5 million regulatory settlement. Someone operating Linux infrastructure should use the open-source server scanner from the first position in this comparison. It was built for mail gateways, file servers, and compliance scanning. Neither of the freemium consumer products serves that environment. The consumer antivirus market and the server scanning market are different categories that the comparison addresses separately. The series conclusion is that the antivirus market in 2026 has consolidated to a point where the choice is simpler than the marketing suggests. The operating system default handles endpoint protection for Windows users. The open-source scanner handles infrastructure scanning for Linux operators. The freemium consumer products provide additional features at the cost of trust trade-offs, notification burdens, and corporate privacy histories. The category that dominated consumer security spending in the 2000s has been largely addressed by the operating system vendor doing the job adequately. The product that began as an independent Czech antivirus company in the early 1990s is, in 2026, a brand inside a portfolio. The engine it runs is the engine the acquiring company built. The trust it carries is the trust the acquiring company damaged. The detection it provides is the detection the acquiring company's research produces. The community's assessment is not that the product is bad, it is that the product is redundant. The acquiring product does the same thing. The operating system default does enough. The distinction between the two freemium products is branding rather than technology. A user who described the product as a nightmare but felt safer with it installed captures the relationship that freemium antivirus creates. The product is disruptive. The fear of unprotection is stronger than the disruption. The operating system default resolves the dilemma by providing protection that requires neither the disruption nor the choice. For the user who installs nothing, the protection is already there. The nightmare is unnecessary.